you play harder?
I am John Tobias, and I was the project lead on Tao Feng. Tao Feng is being developed by Studio Gigante and published by Microsoft. We are about 95% done with Tao Feng in terms of its development. The development on the final product lasted about 18 months, and we are a few weeks away from shipping the title. The fighting system for Tao Feng is faster paced than some of the current 3D fighters out there, in a sense that the moves that the characters can do against each other happen in a much quicker fashion, and also happen in a way that really forces the player to kind of utilize the environment that he's fighting in. Because of the expansive nature of the backgrounds, our characters can run great distances and jump in great distances as well, and it really kind of opens up the game. There's not sort of this claustrophobic feeling of two characters in close quarters combat. Although you can kind of get in close and trade blows that way, you can also incorporate sort of long distance attacks, which is a nice departure from a lot of the current games out there. We felt it was important to incorporate the backgrounds in terms of making them a little bit more interactive for the players, and expanding them, and we wanted to really make the player feel like he was fighting in an environment as opposed to a floating platform with invisible walls. And allowing the players this extra mobility was key to again exploring the environments and all the different hazards and breakable objects within them. That was pretty important for us, and we thought that that would go a long way in differentiating our game from some of the others out there. Tao Feng incorporates what we call chi attacks and a chi system, where as you perform combos and attacks, you build your chi. And underneath our health meter, we have what we call our chi meter. And building your chi is kind of a strategic element to the game. You can use your chi to either unleash chi attacks, which are sort of supernatural style attacks. They vary from projectile-based kind of attacks. Some of them happen long range, some of them are good close range, some of them are teleportation style attacks. But you can also use your chi to heal yourself. And another thing we do is what we call limb damage. And when you suffer limb damage, you can heal the damage by utilizing your chi as well. So there's an element of strategy there. Once you build your chi, you have to kind of decide whether you want to use it for a chi attack or save it to heal yourself in case you suffer limb damage. Limb damage is caused a few different ways. Limb damage can be caused through interaction with the environment. Slamming your opponent repeatedly into environmental hazards will advance what we call our limb damage state. Once you reach danger, a successful attack to the upper body will cause arm limb damage, and a low attack to the legs will cause leg limb damage. And there's an element of strategy there as well, in that if your opponent is really good at a particular attack that involves kicks, you know that if you cause leg limb damage, his ability to use those effectively kind of goes away. And in addition, leg limb damage will affect their mobility a little bit. And of course, again, they can heal themselves. But limb damage is kind of fun to see happen, and once you learn how to make it happen, it can play a pretty big role in winning the game. Each character, I think, has about 100 to 120 different moves. When we developed the game, we did approximately, I think, 2,000 different motion captured animations that are kind of dispersed throughout all the different characters. But it was important for us that each character had a unique set of attacks. There's no kind of, sharing of kicks and things like that. We wanted each guy to seem sort of individual in a sense. We don't really incorporate too many distinct styles, although a couple of the characters do use distinct martial arts styles. Our Wulong Goth character incorporates praying mantis, and Master Sage does kind of a Tai Chi style of fighting. But the majority of the characters, we just wanted to create moves and attacks that fit the look of the character and the size of the character and what we felt was the appropriate speed for the particular character. There are a handful of different modes in Tao Feng. Versus mode kind of covers both a single-player arcade-style experience, and also that's where the main one-on-one aspect of the game takes place. We also have what we call survival mode and a team battle mode. Survival mode for us is interesting because of the chi system and the limb damage system and how they play a role in a game, and how when you fight multiple enemies in a row, it really forces you to consider how you build chi and when you use it and when to cause limb damage and all those things. And it's good to play in survival mode because, again, it really helps you figure out how to play the strategic game of when to use chi and when not to, because it's all about kind of surviving throughout multiple matches. And then that helps sort of train you for when you do fight your buddy, and it helps you plan strategy. We have a mode that we call Quest Mode, and Quest Mode is about playing as a particular character and learning about how that character fits within the Tao Feng universe. Quest Mode involves each character in a quest for a particular quest item that has sort of a historical significance within the world of Tao Feng. And as you play through Quest Mode, there's a narrator who kind of walks you through the different battles and tells you about each enemy and what your history with that enemy is. And so it's a good way to kind of unfold the story and learn about the characters and who they are. I think what we're most excited about Tao Feng is, again, the openness of the fight, and how after you play Tao Feng and you see all of the destruction that can happen to the environment, and you see your characters become both visually damaged in the cloth tears and the bruising and the cuts, and inflicting limb damage and those things. Once you play the game for a while and get used to that, if you go back and play different fighting games, and there are a lot of great ones out there, but you kind of miss some of those elements. And I think that was a good thing for us, and that, again, after playing Tao Feng and getting used to it, you get accustomed to seeing all these luxuries that we're afforded on the Xbox. So I think we're most proudest of taking advantage of the Xbox and really using it to incorporate all these new features. And Tao Feng will be released mid-March.
Can't you play harder?